wasn't going to do a video about this because I don't want to be that guy. You know, the guy that complains about things, the guys that stirs stuff up or whatever. But I feel like I would be kind of doing a disservice if I didn't make a video about this. This has been gnawing at me for a couple of weeks now. I follow a YouTube channel called Adventures in Trucking with Indiana Jack. And the fact that he had the exact same experience with the exact same company as I'd had this experience with, I feel like I ought to say something about it. And so I guess I'm just going to do it. So back in July, we had to, actually I guess it was late June, early July, we had to put my wife's car into the shop for a few days, into the body shop, and have a little bit of body work done. A family member had backed into it in the driveway. Very minimal damage, no big deal, but we were going to get it fixed. So we took it to Service King. Well, inside Service King is an Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Well, I'm going to have to get back and forth to work, so we got an Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Well, I've never rented a car before. So the lady takes me for a walk around the car, and she says to take note of any scratches longer than, I don't know, I say 2 inches or something like that, 1.5 inches, whatever it was, and to take note of any dings or dents larger than a golf ball. Well, there were 2 little hailstone dents on it, and we took note of those, and there were a couple of little teeny tiny little scratches that she said weren't big enough to affect anything. They weren't even going to be mentioned, so don't worry about it. We're not going to mark that down, which I was a little skeptical about that, but you know, whatever. She's done this before, I haven't, so okay. So I keep it for about a week. I take the car back. You know, the rental process was super easy. Getting the car was super easy. It was a decent, nice little car. Drove it for about a week. Well, I take it back, and the day that I take it back, there's no Enterprise employee there. So I go back in, and I'm talking to the receptionist at Service King, and the guy that had dealt with the appraisal of the car and all of the stuff dealing with the car came out, and he said, okay, he goes, well, your car's done. He goes, and they'll be bringing it around here in just a few minutes. I'll take the rental car and go park it. So he grabs the keys and takes the car and goes and parks it. Seems like business as usual as far as I'm concerned, because they seem like they have done this many, many times, and that's just the way it is. So I didn't think anything about it. Well, the day that we get to Santa Fe, New Mexico on my vacation, my wife gets an email with some pictures in it saying that there was damage to the underside of this car, and that they're charging us $601 and some change, and they need our insurance information, or they're going to bill the credit card that we had down for a deposit. So immediately I'm angry, because I didn't do any damage to this car. I know I didn't do any damage to this car. So I call the people. Finally, it takes me forever to get somebody on the phone, to actually talk to a human being. I finally get somebody, and I tell them, I did not damage this car. There was no damage on here, and you're not getting my insurance information, and I'm not paying $601, so we're going to have to figure this out. And I told him what happened at Service King. I told him that they didn't have a representative there from their company to check the car back in with me, so I can't walk around the car and do a turn-in inspection. And I was never told that if there's no employee there, don't turn it in, because you can't do a turn-in inspection. Nobody ever mentioned anything about that. It makes sense, but I never thought about that. I thought it was business as usual. There's no damage on the car or whatever. Well, this damage that's on this car, it looks like somebody backed up over a tall curb or something, because it was on the very, very bottom side of the plastic bumper cover, way up underneath there, and you would literally have to lay down on your back in a parking lot and scoot up under the edge of the car to look at it. No telling how long this damage has been there. They have probably charged 10 people for the damage on this car and never gotten it fixed. I didn't think to get up underneath the stupid car and look at it. From a standing position in this car, you could not see any damage. You literally had to get down on the pavement to see the damage on the bottom side of this car. And, you know, of course, I know now, from now on, I'll go over that car with a fine-tooth comb, and they're going to write down everything. I don't care if it qualifies or not. They're going to write down everything. But first things first, I'm not going to use Enterprise again, because I think it was a scam, and I think they've probably done it to who knows how many people, because Indiana Jack said that he's been using Enterprise Rent-A-Car for 30 years, and he now refuses to use Enterprise Rent-A-Car for anything because they did the exact same thing to him, and he described the exact same damage on the bottom side of the plastic bumper, way up next to the back tires. He described exactly the same damage as what I had. So it sounds to me like I'm not the only one that has been billed for the exact same thing. And it's kind of funny to me that it was $601, because it's over $500, so it's enough for them to ruin your credit. It's enough for them to, really cause you a lot of issues, but it's not enough money for most people to hire a lawyer and fight them. So they're going to get stuck paying the $601. Well, I'm not that guy. I will pay a lawyer $1,500 to keep them from scamming me out of $600. I'm just that kind. I would much rather give somebody a lot more money just to stick it to them because they were trying to stick it to me. It makes me mad. It makes me highly upset that they tried to pull this. And so anyway, I talked to the guy, and he said he'll have to do an investigation. He's going to turn it over to somebody that's going to do an investigation on it, and we'd hear something in a couple of weeks. Well, I had a 2-week vacation, and this was gnawing at me the whole time we were on vacation. It was irritating. It didn't ruin my vacation by any stretch of the imagination, because I knew I'm not paying for this damage. I don't care. I'm not going to do it. So we went on vacation. We finished that. About a week after I got back from vacation, we get an email saying that the whole situation was not handled properly. A Service King employee should have never taken the car from me. It should have been an Enterprise employee. They didn't have an Enterprise employee available to take the car from me. Blah, blah, blah. I can't guarantee that I was the last person that drove the car. They can't guarantee that nobody drove the car after me. And in fact, one of the service techs actually admitted to have driving the car after me. So I was not going to be held liable for it, and that they were going to cover the damages on the car. So I didn't have to pay for it. That's why I wasn't going to say anything about it, because they did clear it up. I had to get a little bit tacky with them and let them know that this was not going to work and that I was going to hire a lawyer to sue them. But they did at least make it right in the end. It was a little bit of a hassle, but they did at least make it right in the end. So I wasn't going to say anything about it until I watched Indiana Jack, and he described almost verbatim the exact same experience that I had with the exact same company. So renters beware. If you do rent from Enterprise Rent-A-Car, get on your back and crawl around and look at the bottom side of that car, because they will try to charge you for damages that you didn't do. And if you're not prepared, they're going to stick it to you. So take pictures, lots of pictures. Next time I rent one, I'm going to take pictures of every aspect of that car, top, bottom, and all the way around, because they're not going to do it to me again. I'm not going to go through that, and I don't think anybody else ought to have to go through it either. So anyway, enough of my soapbox rant. I hope y'all have a great day. Y'all take care, and we'll see you next time.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
And if you think about it, hit that share button, because it sure would help us out.
Bye, everyone.